I think the biggest connection between your health and your business, besides the fact that if you don't have your health, nothing else really matters. But I would say your energy. Like, what are you losing because you just don't have the energy?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the High Voltage Business Builders. It's your host, Neil, and I have here with me Brandon Poulin, who's going to be talking today about ecom, business, marketing, and his successes that he's achieved with him and his wife and his family. Welcome to the call.
Let's do it, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome to have you on. I've watched, as I mentioned in our pre-green room, you've grown and moved, and I've seen you guys shaking in the market and doing some amazing things. So I'm honored to have you on today to talk a little bit about those successes and stuff. Let's get into some of that. Like, share some of the things like now, and then we'll go back in history, hit the Wayback Machine a little bit, and talk about your past. But what is it right now that you're just fired up about? What is it that you're working on right now that people should know about?
Oh man, I mean, right now I'm really digging in and getting my hands dirty in our marketing side more than I was. We grew so fast, and so the infrastructure was the focus, and so lots changed in digital marketing, especially last year with the privacy updates and just in general it's evolving. And so I'm having a lot of fun, like getting my sleeves rolled up and digging in and being in the marketing and the copy and the networks and the ads and just like much more than I was at one point over the last few years. So I just realized you have to always stay close to sales and to marketing and to where the rubber meets the road, right? And it's weird even saying that, because for most people it's like, well, duh, like that's what you have to be, but when you grow really fast and you have to work on other parts of your business, it's weird how you can kind of come away from that for a little bit. So that's been a lot of fun lately.
No doubt. So it's growing from an operator into the business owner and then into the executive. Like, there's an evolutionary path, and it sounds to me like you're on that evolutionary path right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have an executive team, and I have 7 direct reports, and I'm very out of the day to day at this point with LadyBoss. But man, I mean, there's just nothing like digging into where you can really make results happen. And that's funny because you kind of jump around. That's what I've noticed in your business, right? It's like there's always like you can't grow past the weakest link or the weakest area, right? Like, if you can't support the customers you're getting, you can't get more customers, right? If you can't sell them, then none of the other stuff matters, right? If you don't have inventory, then you can't do it either, right? So there's all these areas where you have to really kind of jump around based on the need, right?
So for those who aren't familiar yet, Brandon, what is LadyBoss, and what is this business that you've been working on for a while now?
Yeah, so LadyBoss is a women's health and lifestyle platform, and so we help women lose weight, get healthy, and really the goal is to help change their family tree, right? And so we have different modalities of how we help them do that. We have a really popular supplement line and some other products for them. And so we've built an amazing community of customers. We helped about 700,000 customers so far. My wife had a huge transformation herself personally, and health's always been important to me. I've never been overweight, but she had a huge transformation. So we co-created it about 7 years ago. And it's been a wild, fun ride.
Yeah, dude. Now, a family man, obviously. How has that changed your perspective on life too?
Well, besides the fact that my 3-year-old was sick last night, and then you randomly just don't get much sleep, changed your perspective.
Dude, I know that. Having 4 daughters, I know exactly how that works.
4. There you go. Well, I got 2. Dude. I got 2 daughters.
Oh, good daughter, bro.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Daughters are different, man. If you're on a pattern of 2, I can only warn you what might happen next, right? The pattern is emerging. I've got into 4. I kept waiting, where's that boy going to show up? And it didn't quite happen. But daughters, man, it's a whole different world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know it any different, so I wouldn't really know, with a boy, but right. I'm up for it either way.
Yeah. Well, I hope so, because you're in it now. Yeah. That's right. So more about LadyBoss and like where you guys are 7 years ago, right? This transformation occurred with your wife and whatnot. What was your motivation? What was that breaking moment, that situation, like that catalyst that just said, hey, I'm doing this and started that journey?
To build the company or for her weight loss journey?
Well, her was she was the initial catalyst to the whole thing starting, right?
Yeah, I mean, really it started, we were both, we actually met through a network marketing company. So we were both in like the health and weight loss and supplement industry, just, under the MLM umbrella or pyramid or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, exactly. We learned a ton from that. It was incredible experience. And so, the crazy kind of ramp up curve of Lady Boss's growth and the Inc. and number 4 in 2019 and all that really was set when we were both in network marketing, where we learned how to lead and sell and train, and we learned our market, and we're in living rooms with our customers every night. And so really the catalyst was really the kind of fall off of our income in that company, and then saying, what are we going to do now? And then doing it on our own, right? And kind of setting our own stage in our own terms in our career, instead of, basically being a salesperson, in network marketing. So that's kind of was the catalyst for it.
Well, that's smart, because now it's more into leadership. I know that the aspect of some things you guys teach is around obviously becoming health and wellness becoming a major part of the success of your business and the success of your model, your life, right? Can you expand on some of that stuff? Because I know you guys are into that, and I know it's a big component of people's mental health and wellness to get their, health and wellness in check for the success of their business. What are some things you guys could share? We could share with me literally about things that you should be doing in your health and wellness to really turn around your business. Like, this is a connection point, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest connection between your health and your business, besides the fact that if you don't have your health, nothing else really matters. But I would say your energy, right? Like, what are you losing in your business and in your productivity and your ability to grow whatever area of your business you're trying to grow for whatever goal you have there? Like, what are you losing because you just don't have the energy, right? Or you can go hard mentally for 4 hours and then you're done, versus 8 or 12, or so I think there's a lot to say about just your overall physical ability, right? And I know for a fact, when I'm working out, drinking water, eating healthy, sleeping good, like, I can crush it in my workday, right? And when I'm not, like, I might be a little foggy today because of the being up at night with the sick kid, but like that impacts you, right? And
Well, yeah, dude.
and that same thing goes for everything else, right? You look at, like, you said family man, you look at your marriage. If you're struggling there, that's going to come through, right? That stress that's going to hang. And shoot, I mean, you can even look at the people, these guys that everyone looks up to so much, Gary Vaynerchuk and Jeff Bezos, and like, these guys they lost half of their net worth in a divorce. And I'm like, man, that ROI on that's pretty bad. You got to take care of your house, you got to take care of that.
Well, I don't know how he's going to live off all those billions. It's really sad.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine, but just in principle, it's like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's like, you can't neglect these other things, right? And it's like, we all want to be like the most successful and be in the rat race, but even if you win, you're still a rat. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point. You're still chasing the cheese. And I'm sure there are some people chasing cheese all the time, and they're maybe listening to this. What are some tips that you would give somebody who's maybe their energy's a little low and they're feeling a little down, their mindset's really hard, and maybe they're just trying to break through in their business and they're struggling? What would be some tips you could offer them today?
Yeah, I think the biggest, easiest, simplest thing that's so ridiculously stupid is just like, drink water. Like, it's mind blowing. Most people are so dehydrated. It's insane. We overeat because we're dehydrated. We have fatigue because we're dehydrated. You hear about people like, oh, I went to the hospital, and it's like, what happened? They're like, well, it turns out I was dehydrated. And I was like, that's insane. It's like, we just don't think about it.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, I have to brag, because it literally, thanks to some of the stuff I saw from you, I've got a giant, like, 64-ounce Bubba thing of water sitting on my desk. It goes away. Like, look at that monster, right?
I love it. So I think that's a big one. We have we call it the 4, right? It's 4 things that you do at LadyBoss. And so we try to make it real simple. And so I think at the end of the day, water, like, move. Like, you need to move, right? You just need to do something. Like, who cares what it is? Just do something, right? Like, your body was built to move. Like, we all know, like, when we stop doing stuff, we stop being able to do stuff, whatever it is. And so get outside, go ride a bike, go to the gym or not, or treadmill or pelt, like, just find something that you're going to do and just do it. And that's like where we preach with LadyBoss or teach, is just like we have programs and stuff where, like, just do something, right? Like, do whatever you're going to do. Cause, like, every single diet and exercise program works. People just don't follow them, right? Like, and like, sure, we've got our modalities that we like and we teach, but like, it really boils down to, like, whatever you'll commit to is the thing you should do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it ties so much into success. At least for me, it has, right? We live on 40 acres out here in the country. life is CrossFit for us. As I like to joke when people say they go to a gym to go to CrossFit, I'm like, well, if I want to flip a tire, I'll go out here and flip a tractor tire. Like there's plenty of that to do around here.
That's no joke, man. CrossFit is insane. Like you're an animal.
It's hard, dude. And I got trees to cut down and chainsaws to run and all kinds of stuff we do out here just to keep things moving. It's a natural aspect of life for us. And obviously drinking water is very important for people. But mindset and physicalness is one of the reasons why I'm very glad we got to have you on here, is that there's a connection to the business success that I see with the mindsets of those who are successful and the relationship of their health and wellness to it. It's extremely powerful, right? Give us some examples you've seen firsthand of that changing people's lives.
Well, I think the principle for me has always been, and I don't remember where I read this, but it's like, if you do what's easy, life's hard. And if you do what's hard, life is easy. And that principle plays out against any vertical of your life: health, business, marriage. Like, do the hard stuff and things are pretty easy most of the time, right? In that sense. So one of the things that I love right now in our community that I've been seeing, because I've never been like super overweight or had, and it's insane, like the struggles that these women in our community have and our customers that we get to help them with. But one of the biggest ones that I love to see, not love to see, but just relate to, because I have kids, is the ones who could not get pregnant. They're like, I want to expand my family and like have a legacy and like have children, and I can't because of my health. And then I come into this program and they get attached to our stuff. They drink our shake. They do our program. They plug in with relationships in our community. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing the positive pregnancy tests in the post. And I'm like,
that is cool. So cool.
That
is really cool to witness. I understand that. My wife and I've been together for 15 years, and I've watched the change in her physically and mentally, going through 4 children. But she's a strong woman and she gets out here and works very hard. But I can see where that trouble has been in relationships that we've had with friends and family and stuff who've battled that. So, man, that's really cool, because I know that there's a lot of women's hearts for children, and it's not always an option for them sometimes.
It's like in their DNA. It's like they all want them.
Yeah, no, it is. It's spiritual, in my opinion. That's an ingrained thing. And I know I may be speaking out of turn, but having 5 women in my house, at least I know enough to be dangerous.
Dude, you're swimming in the estrogen ocean.
I am swimming in the estrogen. And you will be too if you keep going. But I know enough to be dangerous. And what I know is there's a caring heart. There's a kindness that women have. There is a motherly instinct that is ingrained in their DNA, like it or not. They can suppress that at times, and they can tell themselves it's not there, or they may want to hide or mask that for whatever reasons. But I've seen it firsthand. It is there. The maternal instinct, as it's referred to, is 100% there.
I'm with you, man. And it's spiritual. I mean, the world wants to make men and women the same, and God made us very different, and we have unique, incredible abilities on either side. And it's like now you're seeing crazy stuff.
There's some interesting things.
You're like, you got like men and women's sports, and we're like, whoa, like we're different, right? Like there's no doubt,
Well, and there's no doubt, you can't argue that. And I'll touch this topic a little more than you because it'll fall on me. But there is the end result.
I'm not worried.
Well, there's the end result that was proven that a man how do we say this the right way without being politically correct? Because I live in the country.
I won't be offended.
Well, most of my listeners will listen to me and already know how I feel about these things, and they probably won't be offended either. But the end result is men are different than women. I can outwork every one of the women in my house right now. There's a physical reason I can do that. I was built to do that. I am capable of doing that. When time comes to lift heavy things, that's why I get called. Time comes to do the more physical activities. That's why. Are they capable of doing physical things? Absolutely. They're very strong in their own right. But at the end of the day, when it comes to doing things that are typically harder or stronger, you will see men surpass women. Genetically, DNA-wise, they're just built to do that differently. And, most recently, we're alluding and talking around a topic about a male swimmer beating the 2, silver gold medalists in their range. He just was capable of doing it because he was physically more capable. End of story.
His body has 5 or 7 times more testosterone. That's like just your marker if you need to quantify it, right?
It's science. Go on down and finish that statement. At the end of the line, he's got genetic DNA that makes more muscle.
Yeah.
He's stronger.
That's
okay, right. You can yell at me about science all you want, but that's a true fact. But getting your mind right about these things and understanding the differences is cool. And I actually, this is a question I had a second ago. Does LadyBoss allow men in? I'm going to say allow. That's probably the wrong way. Do you have men in your community? Can men join your community?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool.
No,
you're exclusive.
If yeah, you have to like be a woman to be in the Lady Boss community. I know
Yeah.
it's so weird, and that's funny.
No,
Like
it's cool, man.
you brought that up, and oh, man, I remember like 3 or 4. No, it was really early. It was like 5 years ago. This came up, and I was like, if you are not born a woman, then you can't be in here because there's a lot of personal stuff. Like it's a safe place for them.
Yeah.
It's
Gotcha.
like there's differences between men and women, and like the world
Right.
wants to tell you they're all the same and like convince us that we're like we're all
There are groups for men who are specifically focused on just men, and then there are other programs,
yeah
out there that you can go join that are men and women specific. It's cool that you guys do that. It's a focused aspect
yeah
of, like you said, trust, integrity in what you're doing, and serving a specific group of people with a need, which is
yeah exactly. And
really
our products are fine for men to take. There's no like estrogen in them,
sure.
but they're dosed
Yeah.
and formulated for women's needs. Like I take our products because I know what's in them, and I help formulate them with our board and our group. So it's like,
Yep.
but like, well, men can buy our products, but we don't let them in the community, right? That's a
Understood.
different thing. So
So as you're planning and now getting involved more in the marketing, as you said, and starting to see things and opportunities, what is it you see that you're doing now in this year that you're changing, adapting, moving forward, evolving in your business? What is it you're doing now to go forward?
yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot. I think we're much more, how do I say this, like LTV driven these days, right? As you grow a business, the customer acquisition costs and the LTV are ultimately telling the story of what your business is and how it functions, right? Your financial statements are great, but you're missing out on opportunities if you're not leveraging a true CAC and LTV number and tracking that back to how you advertise, right? And so we've always been very data oriented. I always like to say like the path is math, right? Like it's always just math, but as you grow and the stakes are bigger and things evolve, you just have to be better. And so those are two metrics that we're obsessed with and are helping us inform much better decisions. And so we've always looked at them, but the way we're leveraging them is evolving. And to be honest, as e-commerce aggregates, matures as a market, you can't, like the days of 4x ROAS on the front end. Like I used to be able to throw up some ads and it was like you'd 5x your money on the front end. Like this was 2017, but now it's very different, right? And so you have to have a back end. You have to be focusing on the long-term value and understanding that relationship between advertising spend and customer acquisition costs and how that backs out and how that relates and when it backs out. So, your cash flow cycle. So boring numbers, math.
Yeah, but
stuff.
success is boring. There's a phrase called success is boring for a reason.
That's right.
We were literally just going over this on our graduates call here before I hopped on with you and talking about it from that FBA side, the Amazon channel side, which is where we do a lot of our focus. But direct to consumer is a big component of obviously moving those brands forward. You're on the direct to consumer side. We were talking a little bit about that, but the same principles apply. We were looking at LTV, lifetime value of the customer. We were looking at intrinsic brand building and moving into direct consumer as you grow and exist your brand, and realizing that even with Amazon, so many people, and like you were just saying very astutely, think that all the money's made in the first product and the first sale. And in actuality, with business, the first products, first sales, first money will be potentially at a loss until you get the brand, the secondary products, the lifetime value, the upsells, cross sells, downsells, etc., built into that business. You won't actually have a real brand. You won't have a long time brand. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, and if you just look at the largest companies with the most funding, sometimes their play is 5 years. We're going to lose money,
Way
and
off.
then we're going to start because we've calculated this and we're looking at that long term, right? And so the better your math is, the longer term you can look, and essentially the more you can compete, right?
It's a great reminder today for folks who are listening. Maybe you're on your first product, first funnel, first Shopify store, even in your first ads. That's just a step one. Like, don't stop there.
Yeah.
Brandon's good example of 7 years to an overnight success in what he's doing, and it's come a long way. And I'm very honored to have you on today and sharing some of this amazing information. How will people get involved with you if there's ladies listening and they're interested in this community and they want to know how to maybe lose the weight, gain the confidence. Who knows? Maybe get pregnant in the future. How do they get connected with you? Not pregnant
Yeah.
from you. That didn't come out right.
Yeah, we won't help you get pregnant,
No,
but
you.
we can support your goals there. Yeah,
Yes, you
there
have
you
to
go.
help yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, ladies can go to ladyboss.com, easy as that, and check it out. I like to talk about business on my Facebook and my Instagram. So it's just my first and last name, Brandon Poulin. So you can check me out there, connect with me, let me know your thoughts. If you like something from the show, I'd love to hear from it.
Brandon, thanks you for coming on, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Neil, it was fun, man.